Hello, everybody! Welcome back to episode 2 of I Talk About new things that happened with the New York Islanders. And a lot has happened with the New York Islanders. I can tell you a lot. Sorry, this is coming out later than expected. I didn't get to do it last Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago. 2 Sundays ago, I should say, because last Sunday I was on vacation, and then yesterday some 4th of July stuff, like 4th of July parties and stuff. Also, happy 4th of July, happy late 4th of July, everyone. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July. But without further ado, let's get into it. I have a lot to talk about in this episode, so without further ado, let's get started. I guess let's start off with no more Anders Lee. This is hard to talk about. I'm gonna have to do it. On the New York Islanders Anders Lee hit free agency, as we all knew, and the Utah Mammoth signed him to a 3-year, like $5 million deal. All I gotta say is that hurt. That really hurt me. He's been my favorite player probably since I started watching hockey, as I probably said in the first episode, because we were talking about how we shouldn't get rid of him, but we didn't anyway. But sorry, this is hard. He was basically my idol and still is to this day. I loved him. So it's going to be hard to see Lee gone. We didn't really get anything out of it because they picked him up. Is it the worst thing in the world? I mean, yes, for me, because he's my favorite player. And now the Islanders don't have a captain. So on this topic, let's talk about who should the Islanders' new captain be? Some people are saying Casey Cizikas. I'm honestly thinking next year might be Casey Cizikas' last season in the NHL, and I think he's going to retire. I would be shocked if he didn't. People are saying Cizikas for one more year. Like, some of the older guys, like Cizikas might get it, Palmieri, maybe like Bo or something like that. I don't know. Bo's not older, but like Palmieri and Cizikas are like, they're almost there. So I'm thinking that maybe Cizikas will get it for his last season, and then maybe like next 2 seasons from now, Bo Horvat, because as the Islanders head coach or like whoever like is involved, all this stuff has said in 2 seasons, which is when he said that is going to be next season. After next season is going to be a lot of changes happening. We're probably going to be getting rid of some guys. They're saying that they might open up on Matt Barzal. I don't really know how I feel about that one, but like Pelech and Pulak, like those guys, like the older ones, I don't know. But I feel like that's kind of getting off topic, but I think that those guys would be in the spot. I think Cizikas should get it for his final season, and then I think maybe like Bo Horvat should get it after next season. So I think that's how I think about that. But yeah, not having Lee is gonna be a little different. I was devastated. No one really expected that. I was expecting them to just give him like 2-year, like $3-4 million and like just go off with it, but I guess he wanted more money. He's 36 or like 35. He's in his 30s. He's getting older. I was not expecting someone to give him that much money, but I mean, hey, good for him. I mean, now we're going to figure out a new captain, but yeah, he'll forever and always be an Islander in my heart. But I guess it's really me talking about Lee being gone. So let's talk about some more trades that have happened. Next trade, well, not really trades. This is more like free agency. Free agency, I think Gatcom. The Islanders did not sign Mark Gatcom to another deal, and then Vegas picked him up for like a 2-year or something. I should say on this picture right here. I know it was for 2 years. I don't remember how much money they were giving him, but I think I liked Gatcom. It wasn't really too devastating when I heard that he got traded. Not traded. They picked him up from free agency. I wasn't really too mad about it, but I don't know. It could have really. I'm saying it could have been worse. It was worse because now my favorite player is gone. But we're getting off topic. Gatcom, he was a cool player, but he's a fourth line guy. Didn't really do too much. Scored not too often, and wasn't really like an enforcer or anything like that. So I don't know. I feel like getting rid of Gatcom might have been the right move, but I don't really know how to feel about it. He wasn't too crazy of a player, but he didn't really do too much for the team. But so sorry, I accidentally knocked my camera off of my stand. But yeah. Gatcom again. I'm not really thinking too much about like how badly I'm gonna miss him. It's gonna be more. I'm gonna miss Lee a lot more than I'm gonna miss Gatcom. But Gatcom was there. He didn't really do too much, so I'm not really too mad about the Islanders getting rid of him. I know some people are, but again, we feel like he could have been better. All right, let's talk about another trade. This one I think pretty sure was a trade. David Rittich. Rittich. Rittich was a good alternative. I will say when he first played, when Sorokin got injured or something, he did really good, Rittich. But then I feel like he's not the type of player, he's not the type of goalie who will last 30 games, which we figured out in the beginning. He was really good, but then at the end, it was more downhill for Rittich, and then that ended up in more goals, which ended up in more losses, which then knocked us out of the playoffs, which Sorokin was back by the time then, but still, I feel like if Rittich could have just been a little better, then we definitely would be in the playoffs, I feel like. And which is also why if Varlamov is healthy, Varlamov is a guy who can play more than 30 games to back up Sorokin when like he needs a break. I'm telling Varlamov would be a really good alternative. I know he's getting older, but he still got something in him, which is what we need. So I'm thinking that Sorokin, if Varlamov is back and healthy next season, I think he should be the backup goalie for the Islanders. Again, Rittich, I liked him. I never hated him, but it's kind of like for Gatcom, I never hated him, but did he really do too? Well, actually, no, Rittich did more than Gatcom could do. Rittich, he played really good in the beginning from like the first 10, 15 games, but then at like the 20 to 30 mark, he kind of just like fell off, which then really didn't help the team. And then like put us more on a downhill thing, and then we lost momentum. But luckily Sorokin came in to keep it alive, but then at the end it kind of just fell apart because we had to play really good teams. So I think the final player that we got rid of in the offseason is what is it? Maximum Shamanov. Okay. So Shamanov, I don't really know much to say about him. Again, so Minnesota took him for like another 2-year deal. Shamanov really never stood out to me. He could have done better. Really, I feel like he could have done better than he did. I always got him and Schaefer mixed up because I would see 49, but I thought I saw 48. That's completely off topic, but still. I don't know. Shamanov didn't really do too much for the team, so I feel like us getting rid of Shamanov was, I feel like, the right play in how we could have done it because he didn't really do too much. Also, I'm shocked. Well, I guess also another reason is Anthony Duclair, I guess, is still on his contract, but he better get better next season if we want to, if he wants to even stay on this team. Also, something that I realized, Barzell's gotta, like, I feel like if he wants to stay, which we really want him to do, I feel like he's gotta put up a really, really, really good performance. Like, he's already is, but I feel like it could be, like, more goals, maybe. I feel like I know he's an assisting machine, but I feel like he's got to score more goals and, like, get more points. And, like, he gets points, but I feel like he needs more goals and stuff. But, yeah, Shamanov, I don't really have much to say about him. But, yeah. So, all these guys that got traded are now not on the Islanders. I wish you guys good luck on the teams that you are now playing on, and yeah, especially Lee. Good luck in Utah. And Utah, you better treat him well, or else I will find you somehow. No, I'm kidding. All right. Now let's talk about the NHL draft and who we got. We picked up a defenseman for the 13th overall pick, which I feel like was maybe the most standout for the Islanders. He does, in his, like, stats, yes, he might not have scored goals. Yes, he might not have been a point maker, but I feel like we need another young guy by Schaefer to help. I feel like that will really help Schaefer and stuff. I think he'll be a good part of the team. I feel like the defense needs to get a little better. For just because we can't have Sorokin on his head every time. He's a good goalie, but he can't always play on his head and them expecting him to always save the shots. He will, but we gotta help him out a little more. So it's why I think getting a defenseman will help, and also the offense just has to step up a little more. But yeah, was that it? Was that all I wanted to talk about? Was all the signings and then him? I think that might be it. I don't know. Hang on, let me check 1 second. Nope, we still have a little more. We signed some players. So let's talk about some of the signings that the Islanders have done. So the first guy that we got was Matthew Kessel. We love taking St. Louis's players. So him, we have not Luffy, like the anime guy, Luff. I don't know his last name. The two guys I'm talking about right here. We love taking them. We took St. Louis's captain, and we took two other players. I don't really have too much to say about that. The guy that I really want to talk about is the guy from my microphone's broken. Hold up. The guy from Tampa Bay that we got. I kind of suck with saying the last name, so I don't really know how to pronounce it. So we're gonna call. I think his first name is Mitchell. Right here. Put him up right there. I think from the highlights I've seen for him, I feel like he's gonna be a really good I think he's going to be a good part of this Islander team. Don't have too much to say, but I feel like I'm really confident about the Islanders team that we're going to have next season. I feel like the guys that we got rid of, I feel like made sense except for Lee. I felt like they could have given him like another 2 year, $3 or $4 million or something like that. But I feel like the rest of the guys that we got rid of and I felt like will help. Again, besides Lee, getting rid of him, I don't really understand that move, but it wasn't really the Islanders' fault because they could have given the money he wanted, but I guess he wanted I guess he wanted a lot of money, but so I think that's really all I gotta say. I'm wondering also who's gonna be the new captain of the Islanders. There's gonna be a lot of stuff, so next episode is gonna be a fun one because a lot of stuff will definitely happen. But thank you guys for watching episode 2, and hopefully I will see you guys for another episode 3 on hopefully Sunday again, but I don't know how my schedule looks. with hockey and stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go Islanders.